It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's a geek.
I go by Geeky Boy and I make Marvel and anime content, but today we're focusing on the Marvel side of things. And today was very interesting. Marvel is officially starting their Avengers Doomsday production today. And with that, they've tried to have a creative way with showing the major players of who is in this movie. So the way they did it was they had casting chairs being put out of each name who was going to be in the movie. You can tell with that, originally we were thinking that this, and they only put out every new chair within like 12 to 14 minute intervals. So you could tell with a movie like Doomsday, this is going to be very, very drawn out and going to be very, very long. Pause. It wasn't as long as we were thinking. Pause again. But it did last. This live stream did last like a few hours. Like I want to say I started watching it on my break at work. So that's like 12 o'clock. And it didn't really get done until like 4 o'clock Eastern time. And that was just when I started watching it. So it was at least live for around 4 to 5 hours. I kind of want to talk about how everything was being presented out with the chairs. But first I want to talk about who was included on this set list, this cast list, and who was kind of left out. The cast list that we have Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. We have Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. We have Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Louis Pullman as Sentry. Florence Pugh as Yelena. Danny Ramirez as Falcon. We got introduced to him in Brave New World. We have Ian McKellen as Magneto. We have Sebastian Stan as Bucky. Winston Duke as M'Baku. Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Kelsey Grammer as Beast, that we got introduced to again in Captain Marvel. We have James Marsden as Cyclops from the 2000 series. Channing Tatum as Gambit from Deadpool and Wolverine. Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent. We've seen him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Rebecca as Mystique. Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Letitia Wright as Black Panther. Naguete as Namor. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. David Harbour as Red Guardian. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Evan Moss as The Thing. And Anthony Mackie as Captain America. These are the people who were revealed with the chairs. So we all know who were left out. The major names like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Daredevil. Names like that were left out. But let's talk about why they decided to include these few names to be set out as the cast for Avengers Doomsday. The order for setting out the chairs was very odd, because you would think like you would have all the Fantastic Four's chairs be set out at the same time, all the X-Men chairs be set out at the same time, all the Thunderbolt chairs to be set out at the same time, but it was almost like they were doing a certain order. So how it was set up, I almost want to say they kind of just told us what the teams are for this movie. We have our current Avengers team, which looks kind of trash, to be honest, if I'm keeping it a book with y'all. And then we have the X-Men team, which also is kind of mid, to be honest, because all these people are old now. Here's my theory on how this movie will work. Now, I'm gonna assume that we'll still get Spider-Man and everybody for Doomsday, just because, you know, they have to be in there. These are your major names. But my thought process is they won't be as involved as the other people that Marvel kind of teased this morning. We will be getting Avengers versus X-Men. Now, I want to say how they did it in the comics was it got down to the last two universes. The 616 universe, which is like the regular comic Marvel universe, and then it was the Ultimate Universe. They were kind of fighting it out. They kind of fought it out a little bit because their original thinking was like, okay, if I fight y'all and destroy y'all universe first, and destroy y'all Earth, because keep in mind, if you destroy the Earth, you destroy the universe. It's like if I destroy your Earth or whatever, our universe gets to live. And the other universe is thinking, if I destroy y'all's Earth, our universe gets to live. So I'm assuming that's kind of how this is going to go now. Now with this is going to be a wash. If it comes down to this, the X-Men team should win. We're dealing with Omega level mutants here, all right? And how they had the chair set up, I'm almost willing to bet. If you look at the comics as well, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, he gets separated from his family. So they had the first half of the Fantastic Four come out, and then they had Pedro come out to the latter end. I'm assuming that's how that movie will go, and that will lead into Doom kind of trying to take everything over and saying, hold on, maybe this is the right way to do it. Maybe Maybe Doom is we don't even know what universe this Doom is from. I think that would be good if we got more details on what universe this Doom was from, or things like that. I also want to say this, right? This goes back to how everything was introduced with the characters and how they did the chairs. They had Robert Downey Jr. actually come out and sit down in his chair that said Robert Downey Jr. That's how they should have teased him being Dr. Doom. They could have had him have a little green on. Instead, they did the whole thing with the mask and all the Doom people, the Doom bots around him. Like, I feel like that might have been a little too much because that's something big. Can you imagine how that movie would have been if we didn't know that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be Doom going into the movie? We might have kind of assumed, based off if they did it to where he had the green on and he says Robert Downey Jr. and it's like, okay, hold on. Iron Man's dead. Is he going to play an Iron Man variant? Or he has the green on, so he could be playing Doom. That would have been better because it would have provided more speculation. And then you go into Doomsday saying, okay, hold on. We got Doom talking in this scenes. Who does that sound like? Does that sound like Robert Downey Jr.? Does it kind of... That would have been cool. Because as you're watching that movie, you're always assuming who is under this mask. That would have been great. So I feel like they dropped the ball with that. But for everyone who are kind of disappointed, I can understand why you're disappointed. Because Marvel kind of hyped this thing up with all the scoopers and insiders. They were saying that this teaser was going to be bigger than the original RDJ news. It wasn't. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't. Y'all are going to point to the X-Men being introduced or confirmed now. But let's be honest, bro. We all knew the X-Men were coming back for this movie. Or for either one of these movies, or for both. We knew that. So that wasn't really a shocker. What would have broke the internet would have been some names that haven't been in the MCU, or maybe they were rumored to be in the MCU but weren't officially cast. Jonathan Majors having his name would have brought some, that would have brought some press. It might not have been good, but that is kind of what would have had people talking on the internet saying, hold on, we got these people, they've never been in the MCU before, there have been rumors, who are they going to play? That's what would have been having the internet talking. I'm not disappointed with how they with the news dropping. I think it was good for the community. It was good for everyone because it just kind of put that hype back out there. With Marvel kind of saying, yo, don't forget we have an Avengers movie coming out like in a couple years time. It was just a reminder. Not to mention we have Comic-Con coming back up very soon. I want to say it's like in a few weeks or a week from now. So we might be getting some stuff then. Who knows? That might just be catered towards the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. But this was a decent way of getting the hype back out, letting people speculate, bringing the community back together. Because if you look at it, the Marvel community has kind of been a little separated just from all this stuff with Brave New World, and the Brave New World kind of brought all the political woke stuff back up. And this, I feel like, was good for Marvel to do to kind of get everything back on track and bring everyone together. But yeah, that is my opinion. My thought or my theory is this movie is Avengers versus X-Men in disguise. And then overarching, we got Doomsday, who might be orchestrating everything. So maybe Doom is who we got Reed on one side and Doom on the other side. And then Doom is like, yo, he's probably playing like the Maker role in this version of the Secret Wars. Who knows? Who knows how this is going to happen? Because if you remember as well, the Maker, he believes that he's doing the right thing. And remember, reports came out that were saying this version of Doom, where Doom has always believed that he's always doing the right thing, or he's always been a major person in his own story. But maybe instead of the Maker, Doom is kind of fulfilling that role. And that would be a nice twist and a nice way for comic people to realize what's happening, but also for movie-only people to understand what's happening. Quick little video, that's all I got for y'all. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, slide the video. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers. I appreciate if you like my content, share my content. Without further ado, I'm out. Peace.